Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the video. This is the paid request. It's time for Tomas. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topic, reaction, review, re-review, randomness, out of blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the film Kids vs. Aliens. Now, it's based on the segment from VHS2 where the kids are having a slumber party, aliens come down, and I believe in that one the camera was attached to a dog. Now, the same guy who directed that directs this to a kind of full-length feature, which I'll get to that in a minute. Jason Eisener. Now, if that name sounds familiar, he's the guy who directed Hobo with a Shotgun. But to be honest, he hasn't directed a lot of movies other than that. Because Hobo with a Shotgun, he did one of the segments in ABCs of Death. Can't remember if it was the first or second one. He did a segment in that. And then he did the VHS2 segment, like I mentioned, the Slumber Party Alien 1. And then this. And the title pretty much says it. There's a group of kids, 3 of them. One of them has a sister who is helping them with their movie, and they enjoy wrestling, and they like playing with each other, having fun. But then the older sister wants to kind of deal with kids her own age, understandably so. Some things happen, there's a party that's thrown, and aliens arrive. The kids, including the brother, are taken. Our lead, the sister, has to go in and try to save the day. And it goes on from there. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty of it all, I wasn't a fan of this movie. I thought this film, for the most part, sucked. And it's disappointing because I've always talked about how, yes, I know you can't truly make anything, quote, original, but I do like to see more different IPs being made instead of just digging up the old IPs. Evil Dead, Scream, Saw, Halloween, and so on and so forth. On the flip side, I've seen, Skinamarink, Megan, this film, and even they suck. So I don't know what the deal is. Skinamarink, if you like watching walls and carpets. Megan, if you want to see a tame version of the Child's Play remake, only the girl does a doll does a stupid tit-tot Britney Spears dance. And then this, number one, okay, it's short. At the very least, it's very, very short. If you take out the end credits, it's an hour and 8 minutes. So that's what I mean. It's barely a full-length feature. There's one scene at the very, very end credits, but it's whatever. Pretty much it's an hour and 8 minutes. So at least it's short. Number 2, I like the performance from the lead actress Phoebe Rex as Sam. She reminded me a little bit of Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, but to me she was one of the only redeemable characters. And the score, very, very heavy and synthesizer, but it was an entertaining score to listen to. It definitely helped with the proceedings. And once in a while, it's practical effects. I can't think of much CGI in it. So there's some decent practical effects in terms of one person gets melted. I would say also some of the aliens, some of the way you get killed, like there's a sword and one of the aliens' head gets split in half. I appreciate the practicality of it. So this is not one of the worst films of the year I've seen. Skinamarink is way worse. Scream 6 is way worse. Evil Dead Rise is way worse. I think Megan is way worse. It's kind of the vein of Cocaine Bear, where, well, actually, I'd probably say I like Cocaine Bear more than this. Because Jason Eisener does seem like he's got certain energetic eye in the proceedings. I remember there was a reel that he had edited together that he wanted to do a Casey Jones movie. You know, Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones. And I'm like, if it had that kind of zest, energy, appeal, I could see him doing that. I just hope someone else writes the script, because the script in this is very poor. You could tell they had a very lackluster budget. And it's funny, it seems like a lot of stuff is happening, but truthfully, not a lot of stuff is happening. And there's just a lot of problems with this. No, it's not found footage, because the VHS2, those were found footage segments. This is not found footage. It's definitely trying very hard for that 80s appeal of like an R-rated Monster Squad, R-rated E.T., or that type of thing. The opening and end credits are neon green. The idea is very heavy in synthesizer, which is a pretty good score. So you see a bit of the hints of the aliens. They grab these sailors and kill them. You don't really see any. They just get pulled under and into the water. Then you cut to our leads. 3 kids, and one of them has a big sister, and they're making a movie. They're trying to have fun making a movie, and you get a bit of their zest and energy where, like we were back in the day as kids, play fighting with toy swords, costumes, pretend to be, whether it be cowboys or in this case, fighting aliens, and it's other kids with little dinosaur masks, and the sister's helping them out, and the sister, hey, do a drop kick, and that energy, zeal, can be appealing at first, but the way they wrote these kids, it sounds like Rob Zombie wrote the damn dialogue. And hey, I curse a lot too. But the way I did, it's just the heavy way these kids kept doing it over and over again. It felt wannabe edgy. You know what it felt like? It felt like the writers, and I think Jason Eisener helped write this, or he wrote it himself. I can't remember who wrote it. I thought I saw his name on it. So director/writer Jason Eisener seemed like he watched some episodes of South Park and said, let me put those kids and make them live action. That's what it kind of seems like. And the brother especially, Gary, I hated that character. And the movie wanted me to like him. His other 2 friends, especially the smaller kid, Jack, I think was his name, I could deal with. But the main kid, Gary, he was just whiny. Just always had this incessant whiny tone. Whether he's talking to his sister, Sam, played by Phoebe Rex. You're supposed to be featured on a movie with us. What are you doing? It's like, shut up. Fine, we'll make the movie without you. And somehow they have like a damn wrestling ring nearby. Like, because their parents are rich. So they're trying to film it. The kid falls, breaks his arm. The parents blame the sister, ground her. They're going to leave again. The parents seem like douchebags as well. That's the thing, like, not a lot of redeemable people. Again, the other 2 kids I could deal with, Sam, Phoebe Rex, I actually didn't mind her. I thought she did a decent enough job of a performance. Like I said, she reminded me a little bit of Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, and I could see her character's predicament. She's having fun with her brother and her friends, and she's not being a dick. She's like, I want to hang out with kids of my own age. Like, granted, she's being manipulated by these other teens, especially Billy, which I'll get to him in a minute. But like when the Gary, her brother, is whining through the door, you're supposed to be on a movie. She's like, oh, I'm doing homework. Like, but she's not being bitchy or anything. In fact, her brother's a bigger bitch. Her brother needs to change some tampons or something. So she gets manipulated by Billy because, oh, it's the hot guy in school, and she's into nerdy stuff and into wrestling, and he's like, oh, come on, it'll be. He acts nice and kind to her, and let's have a party at your place. But then when they get there, Billy is like the most psychopathic bully I have seen in a movie in a long fucking time. Now, to be fair, I think the actor, for what he was given to play, did a fairly good job, because you definitely hated him. His comeuppance was not nearly, and I will repeat, not nearly good enough for how much of a scumbag this character was. Repeatedly. Whether it be threatening Sam in the party, you steer me, good, to ready to break the kid's already broken arm, because the kid filmed him doing stuff with a drone, to take, when they're caught by the aliens, the guy throws one of his friends for the aliens to, so he gets, save his own ass. If you don't make someone that much of a scumbag, you need to give them a huge, humongous, proper comeuppance, and it wasn't. It was half-assed. So that really killed the deal a bit for me on that. So again, the characters, I liked Phoebe Rex as Sam, the older sister. Like I said, the other two kids, one was kind of the whatever, and the other, the younger one, he seemed to be a little bit more innocent of the three. He seems to be, for a bit, into fireworks and such. At least in one scene, which we see back later at the end. And before I go on, the look of the film, especially the outdoor scenes, it really tries hard to have this saturated look. And I don't know, to be fair, that's kind of the director's MO. He's done that before. And I don't know if it's just, I've seen other people do that so many times, it's just been tiresome, or he just didn't have the budget to finesse it a bit, but it just seemed a bit more try-hard to try and be an 80s type of film or whatever the hell. And like I said, the dialogue, especially, just, it's like Rob Zombie came in to write the fucking script for the way these kids talk. These kids talk like the damn dinner scene in Rob Zombie's Halloween. And again, I love cursing. I curse a lot. I love when John McClane in Die Hard curses. Adventures of Ford Fairlane. So it's not that I'm against cursing, but it just seemed like, look how edgy we are. He says, footy. Or saying lines like, what the hell was the line? I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Rather go punch myself in the dick. Or fuck space. Or other stuff. I just, it laying on a bit too thick. And yeah, it really is like trying to do a live action South Park in terms of the characters. And it also makes you realize the South Park kids work better in cartoon and not live action. And then for a film that, like I said, if you take out the end credits, it's only an hour and 8 minutes. It takes a sluggish way of pacing. That's what's kind of weird. It seems like a lot of stuff's happening, where the kids are filming their little movies and stuff, but at the same time, not a lot's happening. Just for a movie called Kids vs. Aliens, you don't really get really into it until 37 minutes in. And I'll repeat it. Take out the end credits. It's an hour and 8 minute movie. 37 minutes in, the aliens arrive at the party. And by this point, Billy is showcased he's even more of a scumbag, obviously, for this bully character. Even the brother is being an asshole. I did. You're pissed at your sister because you barged in as she thought Billy was nice. This is before the party. You barged in on her room doing a bit of epilepsy seizure fit that she has, like, I'm tired, you fuck with me, blah, blah, blah. And so he films a drone. I'm like, okay, he's going to showcase the bully, Billy, who's with this girl. This girl is just a total, typical tramp. Which I did more of the dialogue. I need to take a piss. Well, go ahead, I could hold it. And then through the drone footage, the guy is pissing on the walls. But then the brother is like yelling at his sister on this footage. Is this what you want? And you fucking did this, you fucking did it, you fucking did it, you fucking... I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you Satan? Are you Damien? You sure Gary's name isn't Damien? The sister should have taken his other arm and braked it, or kicked him through a field goal while it's on fire. So I hated that Gary character. He was either an asshole or whiny. And then 37 minutes in, you get the aliens. And the aliens, the look of them, design-wise, they're the same typical rubber-suited gray aliens that I would see on episodes of X-Files. And it's practical effects, but it's nothing great. Maybe I'm being facetious on this, but it seems like sometimes I could see the damn seams in the costumes of these rubber aliens. Again, it's people in these rubber alien suits. It's just not really the most scary, intimidating look. Again, it's practical, but it's not the best looking, I'll say. So the kid, spoilers. Sorry, spoilers. The kids get grabbed. The sister goes after them. Follows them into the water. Goes underwater to their lair. I guess the ship is underwater. Pops up. Watches how the one bitch that was with Billy gets put, and they dump slime on her, and she melts. Because I guess, as the movie says later, the aliens use it. They use human skin for fuel. That's what they say. Oh, and she finds our lead, Sam. She finds a sword that looks like a toy Power Ranger sword. It doesn't even look like a cool, badass sword. Like, get one of those swords from fucking Sword and the Sorcerer, you know. It looks like a toy sword. Like, if you went to Walmart and they had a Power Ranger sword on sale for $5.99, it looks like one of those toy swords. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. Give me a damn Thundercats He-Man sword any day. Conan the fucking Barbarian. Conan the Destroyer. God, it's like a toy sword, it looks like. So she slashes some. About 2 or so aliens. Get the kids, get out. One of the teens, Billy, pushes him in the way, so Billy is saved, so he can save his sorry ass. That teen gets slime on him, and he turns to a monster. Why they don't want his skin, if they need skin for fuel, I don't know. It's just, okay, if you need skin for fuel, why are you turning this one into a monster? Just because, I guess, for the shits and giggles. And they have like this ritualistic thing. They have this bowl that they puked in. I'm like, what? Is it going to be like Peter Jackson's Bad Taste? Where they keep puking and you gotta drink it? No. They both puked in the bowl. They dump it on this one guy. And he turns to a monster. Now, his design's a little bit more decent. It's almost like a little bit of Baraka from Mortal Kombat. Remind me a little bit of that. A little bit. With a very low budget. And he goes after the characters. The scumbag Billy steals the scuba diving stuff, leaves. All the kids go in, and which I find funny because the lead needed scuba diving to get the fuck down there, but apparently not to get the fuck back up. Because they swim out. And it's weird. The smallest kid, while they're swimming out, he like disappears. And I don't know what's going on with him. The sister gets grabbed underwater while the brother and his other buddy get up. And then they spend like 5 minutes with dialogue in the tone of, one of my best friends and my only sister is out there, maybe dead. We should go back. My only sister? Thank you for yelling that to yourself. My only sister. Just the way that was written and said was like, why is it written that way? And then the sister comes out of the water with the little kid. I'm like, how the fuck did she get away from the alien? What happened to that alien? How the hell did she even find the smaller kid? Where the hell was he at? They do CPR, get him up. They get on bicycles, they go in the woods. And for a movie called Kids vs. Aliens, the other kids don't really do shit in fighting the aliens. Do you think kids versus aliens? Okay, what are the other kids gonna do? Are the other kids gonna throw like cherry bombs and sharp sticks and whatever the hell else? No, the other kids don't do shit in fighting the aliens. It's only Sam and Sam who does it. Because in the woods, she kills about 2 more. They get to their home where the wrestling ring's at. The asshole Billy the Bully is there. He steals a sword, stabs one of the kids. The aliens get in. The sister and her brother try to escape. Billy gets punched. And this is what I'm talking about the lame-ass comeuppance. Because with this type of film, Kids vs. Aliens, number one, you're thinking it's going to be wall-to-wall gore. If you're looking for that, it's not. Other than that one melting scene, the rest of it is very lackluster. Doesn't really have much of a body count if you're looking for that. You see a couple aliens get killed from Sam. A handful. But when you're at the 37-minute mark to the hour and 8-minute, I mean, that's what? 23... About 30-some minutes. Yeah, 30-some minutes to get all this stuff in there now. And you say you don't really have much of the other kids find the aliens, and it seems like kind of a waste of a title. The comeuppance of this guy that they just made to the biggest scumbag in the world. Wannabe Baraka comes in, who used to be Billy's friend, and Billy screwed him over. Come on, you remember me? You gotta remember. The creature leans down, bites the guy's neck. A little bit of tear. That's it. That guy deserved it going into his eyeballs and ripping his head apart, or taking his jaw and ripping it like that, getting his eyes and ripping out like this, get his arms and legs cut off, got your nose, rips it off, something like that. No, it just biting it, that's it. I'm like, really? That's all the comeuppance you give to this fucking guy? Give me a fucking break. So the sisters fighting that creature. The sister and brother work together. Because in the movie, there's this thing with a drop kit. Sister's able to do it. Kits the creature out. Now, kits the creature out, but I didn't see it die. Maybe I missed that, to be fair. I was damn bored. But you didn't really see it get killed, chopped up, anything in between. Just kicked out of the fucking barn, attic, wherever the hell they were at. The spaceship is trying to suck them out. There's this thing established earlier with this firecracker bomb thing. One of the other kids did it so that the ship sucks it up. You get the idea that there's an explosion. They're talking to the smallest kid that was stabbed, trying to, hey, stay with us, man, stay with us, don't die, don't die. A bunch of aliens come, you think they've had it, military come in, shoot the aliens, and then they grab the kids and knock them out, put them in stasis, get the sword, put that in stasis or whatever. They leave, and then there's another alien ship coming their way. And then after the end credits, the mom and dad come home. The mom sees a camera. An alien comes in and spits on the mom's face. And I don't know if it's going to melt her, or I'm guessing turn her into a monster. So, not only do you have a movie that doesn't utilize much of the kids versus aliens title, because the other kids, other than Sam, the three actual kids don't really do much in fighting the aliens in this versus movie. The creatures, the aliens, are kind of cheap looking in the makeup effects. It takes really 37 minutes for that plot to really kick into gear, and even then you don't really have much running time left. It felt like not a whole lot happened other than Sam with a sword kills a couple aliens, and you have the most asshole bully in movies in a while. The kids are like wannabe South Park in live action, especially Gary, who's just annoying, irritating. And then you make an ending where it's a sequel bait ending. It's like a bleak, it's not even an ending. There is no ending. The aliens are still there. The kids are in stasis. Let me tell you something. This ain't getting a fucking sequel. I hate to tell Jason Eisener this. Maybe no one else told him this. You're not getting a sequel. You know, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, no sequel for you. You ain't getting a sequel. So even if you're enjoying the film, it doesn't even have an ending, let alone a satisfying ending. So like I said, it's the look at times is saturated. If you look at it for body count, gore, you're not getting a lot of that, except the one melting scene. The kids sound like they're written by Rob Zombie. Like I said, there's not a whole lot happening in the movie, even when it hits in the gear. And I would say, despite not being big on the ending, I actually like the segment VHS 2 more than this. But that's just me. If people like this film, that's fine. I'm like, fuck these... Well, the main kid, Gary. He was terrible character, irredeemable at times. The guy playing the bully was having fun with the role. He's like, you want me to be a bully? Okay, I'm going to be the most psychotic bully. He went with it. I'll give him credit for that. Again, Phoebe Rex as Sam. It was easy to root for her. And the few bits she gets to use that sword, right? Again, it looks like a fucking toy Power Ranger sword. I don't mean a Power Ranger sword from the show. I mean literally a toy you got from Walmart. It was ridiculous. Not having an ending, among other shit, just came off as lame. Very lame. Go watch The Gate. You want to see kids take on something out of this world? Go watch The Gate. Go watch how those kids, especially Stephen Dorff, are utilized. That's another movie about a brother and a sister, as well as a friend. The Date did it a lot better. The Date was more likable characters. Felt like a bit more... I mean, that wasn't a huge budget film either, but it felt like it had a bit more slick polish and ingenuity to it. And yeah, this wasn't for me. So that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. I guess my final thought, I just said see you later, but a bad 80s homage. Good music. It's a short film, so it won't take much of your time. But it's a bad 80s homage. Jason Eisener, I'm sorry, you dropped the ball on this, man. Later.